Today we're exploring the fascinating history of the Mandan people, one of the most well-documented indigenous nations of the North American Great Plains. The Mandan occupied villages along the Missouri River in what is now North Dakota and developed a rich culture centered around agriculture, trade, spirituality, and community life. Their history has also become entwined with one of North America's most enduring mysteries, the claim that they may have had connections to medieval Welsh explorers. In this presentation, we'll separate documented history from legend while learning about the remarkable Mandan people themselves. The Mandan were not nomadic buffalo hunters in the way many people imagine plains tribes. Instead, they lived in permanent villages and cultivated crops, including corn, beans, squash, and sunflowers. Their strategic location along the Missouri River allowed them to become major traders connecting tribes from the Great Lakes, Plains, and Rocky Mountains. For centuries, they served as an important crossroads of commerce and culture. The Mandan homeland was centered along the Missouri River in modern North Dakota. The fertile river valleys provided excellent agricultural land, while the river itself served as a transportation route connecting distant peoples. Archaeological evidence shows Mandan villages occupied this region for hundreds of years before European contact. One of the most distinctive aspects of Mandan culture was their earth lodge architecture. These large structures could house multiple generations of a family. Wooden beams supported roofs covered with layers of earth, creating homes that were warm in winter and cool during summer. Entire villages often contained dozens of these impressive lodges arranged around central ceremonial areas. Agriculture formed the foundation of Mandan society. Women generally managed farming and food production, while men participated in hunting, warfare, and trade. Their corn varieties became highly valued across the plains, and agricultural surplus helped support extensive trading networks. The Mandan demonstrated that the plains were home to sophisticated agricultural societies long before European settlement. The Mandan occupied one of the most important trade locations in North America. Goods from the Pacific Northwest, Great Lakes, Southwest, and Plains passed through Mandan villages. European traders eventually recognized their importance and sought relationships with Mandan communities. Their villages became international marketplaces where people from many cultures gathered. The Mandan possessed a rich spiritual tradition that connected people to the natural world, ancestors, and sacred powers. The most famous ceremony was the O-Ki-Pa, a complex ritual involving fasting, sacrifice, and renewal. These ceremonies reinforced community identity and reflected deeply held beliefs regarding creation and humanity's relationship with the world. Beginning in the 18th century, Europeans began documenting Mandan villages. These visitors described prosperous settlements, agricultural fields, extensive trade networks, and distinctive cultural practices. Some observers also commented on the appearance of certain Mandan individuals, observations that would later contribute to unusual theories regarding their origins. The Lewis and Clark expedition spent the winter of 1804 to 1805 near Mandan and Hidatsa villages. Their journals provide some of the most detailed first-hand descriptions of Mandan life before devastating disease outbreaks transformed the region. These records remain an invaluable historical resource today. The most tragic chapter in Mandan history occurred during the smallpox epidemic of 1837. The disease spread rapidly through river communities. Some estimates suggest that as much as 90% of the Mandan population perished. Entire villages were devastated, and centuries of accumulated knowledge and traditions were placed at risk. This catastrophe permanently altered Mandan society. Beginning in the 18th and 19th centuries, some writers propose that the legendary Welsh explorer Prince Madoc reached North America around 1170. According to the story, his followers established colonies somewhere in the interior. The Mandan became one of the tribes most frequently connected to this legend. Supporters of the Madoc theory pointed to several observations. Some Mandan individuals reportedly had lighter skin, brown or hazel eyes, or lighter hair. Others noted supposed similarities between Mandan boats and Welsh coracles. Language comparisons were also attempted. However, most of these observations were superficial and lack scientific support. Modern archaeology, linguistics, and genetics have found no credible evidence linking the Mandan to medieval Welsh settlers. The Mandan language belongs firmly within the Siwan language family. Archaeological evidence demonstrates continuity with earlier indigenous cultures. Current scholarship considers the Welsh Mandan theory unsupported. Despite enormous hardships, the Mandan people survived. Today they are part of the three affiliated tribes, also known as the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara Nation. Their language, traditions, ceremonies, and cultural identity continue through ongoing preservation efforts and community leadership. The true story of the Mandan is more fascinating than many legends. They built thriving communities, maintained extensive trade networks, adapted to environmental challenges, and preserved rich cultural traditions. Their history reminds us that North America was home to complex and sophisticated societies long before European colonization. The Mandan occupy a unique place in North American history. Their culture, resilience, and contributions deserve recognition on their own merits, separate from myths and speculation. While stories linking them to Prince Madoc remain popular, the historical evidence points to a deeply rooted Indigenous people whose legacy continues today. Understanding the Mandan means appreciating both their documented history and the ways legends have shaped public perceptions of the past.